Hello, I'm Cosmic Jack. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Happy Libra season, my favorite season. Triple Libra here. All the Libra just get super activated. The thing too that keeps coming through for me to share with people, it's just because the seasons change, right? Libra season starts fall. We're in new energy, of course, but every zodiac season will feel different to you depending on where it is in your chart. For example, my Libra rules the 9th house. Libra rules my 9th house. So for me, Libra season feels very open, very expansive. I always am traveling. I feel a lot more just wanting to get out of the house, have a good time. I'm always teaching, I swear. Things are always happening. It's kind of when energy gets exploded out because, whoa, I don't know if you could, the audio caught that burp, but my apologies. Confirmation because the sun just got completely regenerated and transformed in the 8th house during Virgo season. So it was a much more introverted season for me where, it's kind of hermity, right? Where the energy got turned inward to really heal and cleanse and purify my energy body. And so, just sharing that with you too, if I know I have, if Libra rules your 4th house, it's going to feel really different than how it feels for me. If you're a Cancer rising and it's, Libra rules your 4th house, it's going to feel very different. If you're a Scorpio rising, it's going to feel really different, right? Libra is going to be your 12th house. So it's really important to take into account where your Libra falls in your chart. And that just goes for every time the sun moves into a new sign. So, this is not your typical Libra season though, because we are in eclipse season, the in-between windows. The South Node is in Libra. We've been moving through Libra energy for really a year and a half now, since we first started on this Libra Aries axis with the first eclipse in Aries in April of 2023. And so really it has been regenerating and recalibrating your inner king and queen, because Mars is, of course, your masculine energy. It is the ruler of Aries, and Venus is the ruler of Libra, and Venus is your feminine energy. And so again, it's we have been doing this inner Rubik's Cube, trying to solve our inner riddles of our own inner patterns of how our king and queen assert and show up and attract and create. And so there really is just a recalibration energy. I have talked intensely about this at depth. So be sure to check out my other YouTube videos all about this. But really, now that we're post this Pisces eclipse, it's we're in new energy and we're in a new timeline. And so when that happens and when your energy shifts and your identity shifts to meet it, it's definitely a time of surrender and trusting the unknown, because it's you closed out one way of being and operating, and now you have completely new energy to move from. And so it's you're almost meeting a stranger and operating from this stranger that has detangled from your past. And so when you're no longer held down by that baggage and the weight of your past, your energy is so much lighter and more free and more vibrant. And so you're almost just okay, wait, it's you're operating a new car, right? It's you have this dusty, beat up car, and now you have a Porsche, and you're oh my God, I can go fucking fast. I feel so sexy. I feel so exotic. I feel so powerful, right? I can take over the road. Everyone loves my car. Everyone's looking at me. And it's an energy shift, right? It's an energy upgrade from the dusty beater that you drove since you were in high school, right? And so it's there's new hardware, there's a new operating system. It's there's an acclimation period where you're getting used to driving the new car. And so you have to like trust yourself as you navigate this new energy. And what happens is it's like then you have to sweep and clean up some of the debris from this timeline shift. And so the path kind of jumps back up to haunt you in new ways. And so it's really about, I don't want to say new ways, it jumps back up to my eye. Holy hell, that eye itch was next level. And so it's really deciding to really just operate from Porsche frequency. You know, it's like Porsche frequency is very different than who you were in high school, driving the car that your parents bought you, you know? So it's like, okay, who is Porsche energy version of yourself? What do they wear, right? Who do they hang out with? What relationships are they in? What kind of job do they have? What are their career ambitions? What kind of vacations do they take? What kind of food do they eat, right? And so what are the clothes that they wear? How do they do their hair? How do they do their makeup? How do they express themselves, right? And so it's like all of this has to shift. And it's like about having the courage and the discipline to show up in this new abundant frequency and trust that only positive outcomes are going to come from it. Because when you're operating from a new unknown, the tendency is wanting to go back to the dusty beater, because like you know exactly how it operates over there, right? But it's like you've already been here and you've already done that. You already know everyone in this timeline over here in the dusty beater, and now you got to create whatever you want, right? Which can feel a little unstabilizing, right? It can feel a little unstable, a little unsecure. And so your trust and your safety with yourself has to be like A1, right? To trust yourself navigating this new timeline and this new unknown, right? That's what it means to be powerful, to be able to self-source your own safety and be your own resource and be your own supply, right? And really forgive and reconcile any of the things that happened to you in your past, any of the things you partook in your past, anything where you kind of get judgy and shamey and around, because again, like I said, like when you are ascending to new levels, it's like the old versions of ways of being and old fears too really pop back up to kind of pull you back into your old patterns, because that is where you find familiarity. And so too, like I'm feeling this like really strong energy myself of like really past cringy relationships that I was in. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're like, I cannot believe you entertained that man. Not even a man, right? Like that boy. And it's like great, because like the person and the version of myself now would never drive the dusty beater, right? But it's like, okay, we had to upgrade the identity, and it's in looking back and having gratitude for your past shows you how far you come, and that actually puts you into a state of abundance, because you actually are like, wow, I've come so far, I'm so proud of myself. And so then you just have to make new actions and new behaviors and solidify the new identity based on how you view yourself, because the version who I am now, who drives the Porsche, just doesn't view herself the same, right? She's no longer controlled by her pattern. She's no longer operating from a subconscious place, right? She's no longer trying to outsource her safety. And so now it's like there's just new frequency that's getting closed out. And that's really what this Libra season is about, because really the place where we get stuck and we get caught and disempowered is in relationships. And so in order to really ascend timelines and welcome in your next version powerful self, it's like you really have to re-navigate and recalibrate relationships, and that starts with the relationship you have with yourself. Confirmation burp, holy moly. You guys, I hope you guys know I don't burp like until I get onto these videos. Just the way that the energy moves through my throat chakra, right? And so September has already been kind of an interesting month, because things have been coming to fruition and culmination, but then and September is an interesting month because it's the same number of whatever year we're in. So 2024 is an 8 year, and then September is an 8 month. So it's like this like powerhouse month of like abundance and things coming to fruition and material things. And the thing too with September, it's like, or I should say like with an 8, it's like the karma is quick, right? It's like what you put out, you get back immediately. And so things can happen and things can shift in an instant. And I have full body chills as I say that. And then, you know, what happens the rest of the, like, once we get to fall, it's like the energy is like a full fucking sprint. It's like a full downward sprint. And so it's like this September was really all about getting you in your power, because it's like on the other side of these eclipses, it's like so much wants to come in. And so, but it's like you actually had to meet yourself in that mirror, in that frequency of like the new identity before you all of a sudden just like took off in your new Porsche. You know, you still want to make sure like the things that you want from your past are packed in the Porsche, you know? And so it's like, but it wanted you also disentangled from that old car, the dusty beater. And so now it's like you're in this new version and this new reality. And it's like, now you can go 100 miles an hour down the freeway, and got your new sunglasses on, you got the music blaring, like life is freaking good. And it's all because you did the work now to disengage yourself and untangle yourself from your past, which looks like looking at your relationships and also doing that internal work to recalibrate your inner king and queen, and really looking at your Venus and your Mars and really making sure you're grounded in your energy. And so this energy really is, it's like such an interesting month, because it's just like, I feel like I'm like just seeing cards and like deals being made. It's like new deals, new arranging are happening so fast. And it's like your full-time job to really anchor and respond to your reality as this like next level version of yourself. And so it's like whatever happened in the past, it's like, no, you actually have to respond from this new version of you, and not let the like, you know, the fear tactics of your ego from your past like pull you back, and really just stay focused and stay grounded in where you're going. So let's talk about this eclipse. There's a full moon, or sorry, it's a new moon lunar eclipse happening at 10 degrees of Libra on October 2nd. And it really is about releasing relationships. And this is really where you have to look at the relationships in your life and see where you're the common denominator. What is getting mirrored and reflect back to you based on the relationships that you are attracting in? And really getting freaking honest with yourself about where you are the source of your own disempowerment, you know? Maybe like everyone in your life operates from a frequency of lack and you're trying to break through of lack. And so it's like you actually then have to look at where you hold that frequency of lack, right? And then like anchor in that masculine energy to be solid, to be grounded, and to really provide the value that, you know, you can operate from abundance at, right? And it's like all of the things that are coming into fruition are a result of you choosing this new frequency, right? Because the lack frequency used to be your natural state, right? The dusty beater, duh, right? But now it's like the new identity drives a Porsche, so you can't be operating from that frequency of lack. I mean, you can, but do you want to? No. And so it's like then really just like bringing through like Porsche energy into everything that you do, like high end, high class, high status, right? And so if you looked at yourself and your body and your energy as a Porsche, like whatever that highest status is for you, how do you date? How do you choose a partner? How do you move? Like, how do you make decisions? Like, and again, it's really just taking on the identity of the new version of you. And this lunar eclipse, sorry, it's a solar eclipse. Solar eclipses are super powerful. And it's really having you look at your commitments and your relationships and who you're aligned with, and making sure that you're aligned with other people with Porsche frequency, right? And then we have this eclipse happening conjunct Mercury. So like new insights and new downloads for sure coming through. And it is square Mars in Cancer. So it's going to be probably an emotional moon. Mars in Cancer can be really impulsive, really reactive, Mars in Cancer is being ruled by the moon with, that's Cancer's ruled by the moon. And so it's like it operates on its moods or operates on impulse. It's super reactive. And so not letting yourself get into arguments, into heated discussions and stuff with this eclipse, and really allowing the universe just to reveal what has to stay and what has to go, and really doing the shadow work around where you're not operating in congruence with the type of standard of life and living and relationships that you seek. Confirmation. It is 2:22 as I say that. It's going to be a very much of like a closing out energy. And so there's like this like forgiveness that needs to happen, right? And really accepting and forgiving like who you used to be, because who you used to be was operating from a place of survival and really didn't have the awareness to untangle yourself. And really like you're seeing like where you like were always settling in your past. Like you were always settling. You're always like accepting less than you deserve. You had no fucking standards. You had no boundaries. And what happens when you have this kind of like reckoning and like realization around all of the ways you really sold yourself short with my like lisp as I say that, like really like downplayed yourself and really shrunk to stay relatable, it can be really emotional. And it's like you actually have to grieve this version of yourself who didn't know any better, who was just trying to get her needs met. And that's why the work you do to understand your emotions and your emotional body can be so powerful, because when you can self-source your own emotional needs and really be a safe and secure place for yourself, you just become so much more powerful, because you then have the agency of choice and the freedom to choose what you actually want. And then it's like the past disintegrates. And so it's having a lot of love and a lot of sympathy and empathy for past versions of yourself who was just trying to like fucking get through life, It's like, it's such a game. It's such a game. And it's actually like, but once you can break free and break out of it and see things from the higher perspective and the higher view, it's like, oh, like nothing like really matters as much. You can like be like, oh, I'm solving the problems. I'm addressing my life from the penthouse view, right? I see things very differently on the penthouse floor than I did in my old apartment. It's like the frequency is different, the view is different, the perspective is different. And so how you break free of your past is you just operate from that new frequency. And so it just needs to get solidified. And so there's just some time to really like shake and break open your heart and really allow the healing and the transmutation of your values, of how you see and perceive yourself, to change and not hold on. Open palm. Eclipse season is open palm energy. It's like whatever wants to stay, come closer. Whatever wants to leave, please leave. I love you and sending you so much love, but not up in here. We're not doing that shit no more. And it's really like you're going to have to protect your energy in new ways. And by that, I mean having high standards and high boundaries, because when you hold a lot of light in your physical body, it's like, think about like turning on the light in the dark. It's like, oh, everyone can see you, right? The spotlight is on you. And so people are really magnetized to that frequency, but then people also want to try and like, they do this subconsciously, right? But like control it and dim it down. When the light is too bright in your eyes and you're like, turn it off, right? It's like, that's what they like kind of naturally want to do, because they can't hold it themselves in their body and their frequency and their energy. And so it's being really protective and like your own best friend in your own safe space for yourself, as you really, and like give yourself a lot of grace too, as you enter this new energy of yourself, this new Porsche frequency, as we're calling it. And like the version of you that just has a handle on things and just has got it. And really reconciling that inner trust and that self-love and that self-value that you have with you. Because really everything in your life is a reflection of how you see and view yourself. I can see when I had old, outdated, crusty beater identity, and like, so I would attract in people who had crusty beater energy, you know what I mean? I mean like beater card, like not like a beater energy, but like, and so this Libra season is really kind of illuminating and reflecting. Libras are the mirror. You know, what you see in others, you see in yourself, like good and bad, perceived good and perceived bad. And so it's like, what is being reflected to you about your energy? And so there's this really powerful like opportunity to really break free and see yourself different, not from a place of codependency, because that's what that's Libra's like shadow frequency is operating from codependency, needing to get its safety and needs met in other people, having no boundaries, and really just like prioritizing other people over themselves. And it's like when you can prioritize yourself and really have constructive self-interest and really become from a place of confidence and boldness and bravery and courage, it's like then you get to go like fuck shit up, and then also attract in people who support you in this vision of yourself and hold you in that light and like really cheer you on and also lift you up so that you can create so much different, right? Because it's like you are in co-creation with God, and when you recognize that everything is just a reflection of you, then you can actually come empowered in your ability to create. So we also have Jupiter and stationing retrograde. Jupiter can kind of like deflate a room, and so Jupiter retrograde in Gemini can really have the overthinking spiral. Like I had definitely a good time to watch your mental scope and your mental sphere, as it's like this energy can get turned inwards, and really have I'm just thinking like even like broad scope, like election wise, it's like if you're here in the US, it's like all of the misinformation and the chatter, it's like just like the mental chatter, it's just like noise, a lot of external and internal noise when Jupiter stations retrograde in Gemini. And so it's like you might feel like the opportunities slow down, your connection slows down, just like things just like again like air gets kind of sucked out of the room, and you're kind of then just like left with like the overthought. And so having, again, being really grounded in yourself so that you can like break through of where you overthink things. Pluto will also station direct in Capricorn October 11th, and again it's like these transformative energies will start to pick back up wherever Capricorn is, which really is about taking your power back from authority and being the authority of your own life and getting really solid in like the work and the legacy and the mission that you're here to live, because Capricorn cares about success and goals and drive and ambition, and it's really finishing out this 16-year cycle of Pluto and Capricorn. So it's really important that it's like the past like 4 weeks, really, we've been really seeing, like I've had so many subconscious like mind explosions happen around where I have outsourced my power and kept myself small and really not been responsible for like the things that I want. And it's like that's now what we have to hold the power for. It's like the responsibility for the life that you want, confirmation, and really owning your power as that authority, and putting in then too like the structures and the responsibilities and the disciplines to help you achieve like what you're here to achieve. Because when Pluto moves back into Aquarius for good in November, it's like we're in a totally new frequency. And so it's like, what's the residue that you need to clear for that? And then too, like Venus, we'll have some Scorpio energy happening. Venus will be in Scorpio. She'll trine Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, and she'll oppose Uranus in Taurus. And so because Libra is ruled by Venus, it's like Venus's moves are important. Of course, all this Libra energy will connect with the South Node. We have the eclipse with the South Node. And so again, it's like one big kind of purge of our relationships. And it's like things are happening quick so that new relationships can immediately align. And it's like you actually just have to like kind of like remove the like where you're corded so that things can kind of be recalibrated, and trust that like all of the relationships that are getting realigned are happening for your highest and best. And then we really like end Libra season. I mean, we'll have this Aries full moon on the 17th. Venus will also move into Sagittarius on the 17th. And this can be like a re-energizing time. I really see like the first half of October being different than the second half, but we really kind of close out Libra season with this Aries full moon on the 17th. And think back to really April of this year when we had that massive new moon solar eclipse in Aries conjunct Chiron. It was on April 8th. Like for me, holy moly, my entire life has shifted since then. And so really reflect on the lessons that you've moved through when it comes to your identity, how you show up, how you assert yourself, how you take action in the last 6 months, like what has changed. And like really, because really every 90 days, your life should be like turning over. I look back, like I really view my life by quarters and in seasons, because that's really how like we're designed. It's like everything is kind of on like a 90-day turnover. And so I look back to 90 days ago, I'm like, who the fuck is that girl? And then like I can rewind back another 90 days and be like, who the fuck is that girl? And then I can rewind another 90 days and be like, oh my freaking gosh, who is she, right? And it's like people like even have told me that I like look different. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's because I'm a totally different, I'm Porsche frequency, right? And so it's about like really asserting and leading yourself as that creator, because if you're staying stuck and stagnant, that's like when the like still water spoils, right? It's like to be a creator means you always have to be evolving. You have to always be committed to that growth cycle and always be constantly shedding to be renewed, right? Because if like that's just like the life cycle of the zodiac wheel, right? It's a life cycle of starting and new beginnings, and then Pisces where things come to full fruition, and that's actually where the cycle dies to be reborn, right? So it's like if we can just follow the seasons and follow the astrology, it's like the astrology, like life is always being renewed. Every life is cyclical, right? Whenever I explain that, like kind of like the life cycle of astrology to people, they get it because they understand that life is secular, right? And so how can your life always be overturning and emerging anew? And you know, for like me, like I closed out Virgo, I was like, I got rid of clothes, I like rearranged my schedule, like I got really practical about the things that I want to achieve in the fourth quarter, right? Because that's really, Libra season is the start of the fourth quarter. It's like, so what do you want to achieve in that fourth quarter of your life? What do you got to do? What do you got to do so that you are in a position to receive? I don't want to say, Libra is, it's the start of the fourth quarter of the year, right? It's not the fourth quarter of the zodiac, but it's the fourth quarter of the year. It's the third quarter of the zodiac. So it's like, but what do you got to do so that when Capricorn season starts at the end of the year, to have achieved your goals, right? To be a totally different person, to be a person who is just like that Porsche frequency is freaking automatic, right? And it's like really that Aries full moon is like, all right, you got to be in that frequency now, and like then we go full speed ahead through the end of the year. So powerful shifts and shit happening. I think this is going to be an interesting Libra season. I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. I love a cosmic wild card, because for me, I'm always just like, yeah, universe, show me where I'm out of alignment. Show me what I'm not seeing, right? It's an opportunity for the veil to really be lifted and for you to see things clearly, like what is not in alignment, what is not. And the thing I'll just say too about eclipses is the reasons that they are so powerful for people is because they have to do with the nodes in the moon, which relate to your karma, your purpose, your destiny. And so it's like you're getting rearranged to your destiny. So just listen and pay attention to what's happening. And it's like they're only painful when you're really out of alignment. So it's like catalyzing you to your growth and to your actualization. So we love that for you. We love that for me. And so allow the transformations to really unfold, because things are closing out and clearing out so that you can be aligned with your highest timeline. Sending you so much love. I am starting Cosmic Conduit, which I'm super excited about, Astrology 101 and the Astrology Mastermind, all about using astrology to custom create and design your life and your reality, really exponentialize your change, the life that you want to live. And really working with transit astrology is so powerful because you always know what's coming, and then understanding the astrology just teaches you the archetypes so that you can understand yourself, understand other people, and really always know how to get into alignment because you know your birth chart and you know the astrology. So I'm super stoked to teach that. It's going to be epic. It's going to be so good. And really learn my specific tools and modalities of how I bridge the astrology with the personal development, because I always make astrology super applicable and simple and easy to digest for people, so that you can leave the chaos and the confusion and really step into your empowerment through astrology as your guide, and really be grounded and relaxed in your nervous system, because you know what's coming with the cosmic weather. So if you want that, I'll post the links for that in the show notes, but you can also book a one-on-one reading from me. It's a really powerful time to get a reading. My readings have been so freaking next level lately. Like, I can't get over how good my readings have been. Like, one session is like shifting timelines for people. It's really wild, and you'll love to see it. And two, like, my gifts are really unlocking, so it's like, it's very exciting. We just like activate each other. So get in your alignment and in your power through your birth chart and through the astrology. Best stuff ever. So sending you lots of love, and happy Libra season. Bye, guys.